All right, golfers, Dean with golfallyear.com, and today I want to talk about the Orbit launch monitor and some of the things you need to be aware of before you buy. So let's get into it. So before we get started here, I want to clarify that I am a big Optishot 2 fan. I started with the Optishot years ago, got better at golf, really improved, dropped my handicap, did an amazing job. Love the Optishot 2. Have tons of videos on my YouTube channel about the Optishot 2. So I have since upgraded to the Garmin R10. It allowed me to have it be portable. It allowed me to have more stats, things like that. It allowed to be more accurate and things like that. So I've upgraded to the Garmin R2. Well, Optishot has come out with a new launch monitor called the Orbit. Okay, and so I want to give you some information, understanding that I do love the Optishot and love what they did with Optishot 2, but I want to give you some information you need to be aware of if you are thinking about buying the uh, the Orbit launch monitor. So let's start with thing number one that I want you to know about the Orbit launch monitor. All right, first off, if you are thinking about buying the Orbit launch monitor, you are really buying the SC4, the Swing Caddy 4 launch monitor with the Orion software. So what you are getting, if you're buying that package, the Orbit, they're calling it the Orbit, um, you're buying the software from Optishot and the Swing Caddy um, launch monitor. They have partnered together and they're using it. Now, that is fine, all fine and dandy, but you need to know about the SC4 and you need to really like the SC4. That's the key because um, the SC4 is the launch monitor that you'll be getting. So think about the SC4, do some research on the SC4. I'll give you some things that I know about it, but do some research on it and make sure that that's the launch monitor that you want. All right. The second thing that you need to know is that you're getting the Orion software. And so really look into the Orion software. There's a couple of videos out there. I haven't seen too many. It seems a lot like the Optishot 2 in terms of graphics and things like that. So beware of that. It does have the stats and gives you the stats for it, but those are a lot of calculated stats coming from the SC4. So really look into the Orion software and what you're getting, because that's what the bump in peg, the bump in cost, I should say, is for. It's for the Orion software. The SC4 runs about $550 or so, $530 I think you can get it for at some places. And so the bump to $750 is that Orion software. So really look into that and figure out what if that's the software that you like, because you have a lot of options in terms of software, and we'll talk about those. Now, another thing that you have to understand about purchasing the Orbit is that you will not be able to use the courses outside unless you take your computer outside. So you're going to be using an app called My Swing Caddy app when you go outside to use it. That does not have the virtual courses like you would with the Orion software. So understand that it's portable, but it's not portable because you aren't going to be able to use those courses outside, the virtual courses outside. So that's a big thing. Another thing about the app is the app does not have very good reviews. So make sure you look into the app, the My Swing Caddy app, and really read over the reviews and really determine if that's the app you want to use, especially if you're using it outside with it, because that will be the key. I use the Garmin app, which I love. I also have the awesome golf app because I got awesome golf software, and I really enjoy that too. They're really easy to use, and they're good companies to be a part of. So make sure you look into the My Swing Caddy app and the functions and features that it gives and why it's getting such poor reviews. If you are thinking about the Orion, software and the Orbit, combining, getting the Orbit and getting the Orion software with the SC4, understand that, and I've seen videos on this where it will give you stats, Orbit stats, and then the SC4 stats, and they won't be the same. There's a big gap difference in the distances and things like that in the stats from the Orion software to the uh, SC4. And so I don't know why that is, and that's a little worrisome for me. But you need to make sure you look into that and see. The other thing with the SC4 is you're not getting spin axes. One of the things that determines your uh, ball flight, okay, and which direction your ball goes, so you can actually see it curve and fade and draw, is spin axis, and the SC4 does not do that. Now they do say that they're going to have that in the future, but other launch monitors, the Garmin R10, things like that, do have that spin axis, so you're able to see your shot shape. And your shot shape is very important to understand whether you're fading the ball or hooking the ball or what. So be aware that the stats in the SC4 are going to be different than some other launch monitors. All right, so now let's talk about the price. A lot of people are saying that Optishot is, if you buy the Orbit, you will get $200 if you send them your Optishot 2. So if you have the Optishot 2, you kind of trade it in for $200. So basically, you're trading that Optishot 2 for the Orion software, and then they're going to give you the SC4 with that Orion software. So understand that is kind of the trade-off there. With the SC4, if you were just to go out and buy the SC4, you will get E6 Connect, and you will get I believe it's one course and all the driving ranges for free. So it doesn't cost you anything to use E6. I think for me, E6 is a better option than the Orion software. I also think Awesome Golf is another software that is a better uh, software than the Orion software. That's why I told you, make sure you look into the Orion software. There are a lot of softwares out there that you can pair with the SC4 to get kind of your virtual courses and all that stuff, your simulator aspect, as opposed to just a launch monitor. Okay, so the SC4 is just going to give you the stats. You won't get to play courses if you buy the SC4, but then you will if you get another software or use the E6 free ones. Okay, so I hope that makes a little sense. So make sure you research the softwares and what you want to pair with your SC4. All right, so there's a few reasons why I would really look into the Orbit launch monitor if you're thinking about buying it. Look into the Orion software, look into the SC4, and see if those are the things you want. For me, I love my Garmin R10. It's very portable, it's easy to use, gives me great stats. I combine it with Awesome Golf. I also can have E6. I got E6 courses for free, so I'll use that sometimes. I'll also use the Garmin driving range. You can get Home T Hero where you can play a bunch of courses. There's all kinds of options. You can connect it to your watch and get everything in there, your on-course stuff and everything kind of combined. It does a great job with your stats. I'm just a big fan of the Garmin R10. I know there's a lot of other launch monitors out there. That's the one I use. That's the one I'm, kind of telling you that it's a pretty good deal. Are there issues with the Garmin? Obviously, there are. Sometimes it won't register because I do a little wiggle, things like that. But those are things you can overlook. And for the price, I think the Garmin R10, and then combine it with whatever software you want, is a better deal than doing the Orbit launch monitor. So that's my 2 cents on it. Take it for what you will. I don't have the Orbit. I've done a little research on it. I do have the Garmin R10, and I can tell you that's a good one. So please subscribe to my channel, Golf All Year. Also, take a look at golfallyear.com. I have a free practice plan. If you're looking at getting better at golf, I have a free practice plan on there that is going to be awesome, that you can use to get better with each of there's 8 swing skills I try to work on, and you can use the Optishot or the Garmin to do that. So check that out. Also, I have A lot of different videos out there that you should take a look at if you're interested in getting better at golf using golf simulators.